This is breaking news on 2 News.
The telephone call I made this morning is one of the hardest I've made in my 28-year career.
An arrest made in connection with the death of 23-year-old Mackenzie Lueck today. Breaking new information in the Mackenzie Lueck case, it has officially been declared a homicide investigation.
Tonight, we're getting our first look at the suspect's booking photo. Ayala Ajayi has now been booked into Salt Lake County Jail, where he is facing a handful of felony charges. Just hours ago, police announced that Ajayi is facing charges for aggravated murder, kidnapping, and desecration of a human body.
Yeah, developments in this case have been fast moving today since they made the announcement this afternoon. We've got team coverage for you. Rayanne Christensen live at the Public Safety Building and Jeremy Harris live at the jail where the suspect's been booked.
Jenna Rose speaking with friends of Mackenzie. Kyle Harvey live at the home that was extensively searched. We want to begin though with Michael Locklear. He has some new allegations against the man who has been arrested. Michael?
Yeah, we're in Hatch Park, the place where Mackenzie was last seen after being dropped off here. Breaking within the past 30 minutes, we've learned from North Park Police in North Logan that they investigated a complaint against the suspect here a few years ago. The police releasing a statement saying that in 2014, they investigated a sex offense rape allegation, but the female adult did not wish to pursue charges in that case. 2 News has also been looking into the other criminal history of the man accused of murdering Mackenzie Lueck. The most interesting piece of Ayala Ajayi's legal record is this eviction in 2016. He used to live at Ridgeview Apartments in North Salt Lake. It's a short walk, a quarter mile to Hatch Park. That's where police say Ajayi met Mackenzie Lueck at 3 in the morning. He knew the area because he once lived so close. We also know the suspected killer was going through a divorce. Court records show a judge made it final earlier this year in January. 2 News found Ajayi had no major criminal history in Utah, but he did not have a clean driving record, including several convictions in 2014. No registration, no insurance, driving with a suspended or expired license, and improper passing. Live again, you're looking at the roof of the apartment complex where he once lived. That gives you a sense of how close to this park he once lived. Coming up at 4:30, we're looking at a disturbing book that he wrote. Live in North Salt Lake, Michael Locklear, 2 News.
All right, Michael, thanks. Our team coverage now turning to Jeremy Harris. He's live at the jail where Lueck's murder suspect has been booked. Jeremy?
Yeah, well, what we can tell you is we've just obtained a copy of a probable cause statement that's filed here at the Salt Lake County Jail. We can tell you Ajayi is inside and he is being held without bail on charges of aggravated murder and aggravated kidnapping. Now, what we know is that he will be held here at the secured facility, and that will be for at least in the next 96 hours while prosecutors end up reviewing the evidence that Salt Lake Police has gathered and also some of the reports from Salt Lake City Police over the last 11 days. We know prosecutors are acting furiously to do so. What we can tell you is that Ajayi likely will go before a judge. That probably will come on Monday. But there's a lot that goes into the next steps, especially for somebody who's facing a charge of aggravated murder. Now, we can tell you that coming up on 2 News at 5 o'clock, we talked to a former prosecutor, now turned defense attorney, about what the next 96 hours, that key window, will look like in this case, and what he expects prosecutors could do in the next few days that could determine what will happen for the rest of this case as it moves forward. Again, aggravated murder, aggravated kidnapping, obstruction of justice, and desecration of a body, all of which are felonies. That's what he's being held here at the jail for. Back to you.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. The suspect was arrested after extensive investigation efforts at a house in Fair Park. Search warrants were served just days ago. Police collected boxes of evidence, but what was most suspicious was a burn scar in the suspect's backyard.
A forensic excavation of the burn area was conducted, which resulted in the finding of several charred items that were consistent with personal items of Mackenzie Lueck.
Police also telling us they did utilize rapid DNA to process the items, as well as human tissue, which came back as a positive match for Mackenzie's DNA. It was this discovery that sent police to the location where they made that arrest this afternoon.
Continuing our team coverage now, Rayanne Christensen has been with the Salt Lake Police Department today.
Yeah, this has been a very difficult day for them, for a lot of people across the valley here today, when they heard the delivery of this news by the police chief today. Rayanne?
Yeah, it's been a very emotional day for these police officers here at the Salt Lake Police Department. The chief delivering that very tough news. They have been working so hard on this case 24/7, putting in hundreds of hours, and the chief telling us today how they did link Mackenzie to the suspect.
Investigations of both the arrested persons and Mackenzie's phone records show the location of their phones to be at Hatch Park, within less than a minute of each other.
Chief Mike Brown giving insight into what was the last communications of Mackenzie Lueck.
Mackenzie left the park with this individual at approximately 3 a.m. on June 17th.
Brown says that's the last time any activity came from Mackenzie's phone, social media accounts, any communication with anyone. Ayula Ajayi told police he had texted with her the night before she disappeared, but that was it. But Chief Brown says they found evidence otherwise.
The arrested person stated that he did not know what Mackenzie looked like and denied having seen a photo or online profile of Mackenzie, despite having several photos of her and the profile photo.
Now, some of the other evidence that Chief Brown revealed to us today, they said they did find some charred evidence of Mackenzie's that were her personal items, as well as that human tissue that matched her DNA profile, as you guys mentioned earlier. For 2 News, I'm Rayanne Christensen. Back to you.
Here is a map showing key locations in this case. The airport where she landed, of course, last Sunday night. The park where the lift dropped her off. The home where police found her DNA and burned her belongings, as well as the apartment complex today where he was taken into custody.
And some live pictures now from the apartment complex. This morning, police raided the area, but late this afternoon, we were seeing another small surge in police activity. Kyle Harvey was there earlier, joins us now live from the suspect's house. Kyle, what can you tell us about that?
Well, yeah, clearly there's a lot of police officers doing a lot of different things in several different locations. So this is obviously, we talked about the house, and there's been so much searching already in the last couple of days. Clearly still a police presence here. I can't say for sure what's going on inside of the house, but there's very much a lot of activity going on here. We came here from, as you mentioned, those condos. The arrest was made earlier today, and they returned to that address as well. About 1 o'clock, we saw a crime scene investigator return to that scene. There have been a couple of detectives, police officers have been guarding the door of the specific apartment condo. It was on the 3rd floor, kind of towards the street, until that crime scene investigator arrived. He went in, spent about an hour, took some photos. They went out from there, also took a look at a car in the parking lot, a gray Toyota Camry, quite a few years old, opened all of the doors, opened the trunk, took a look at some things, took pictures of that car. Again, the process took about an hour. We don't know at this point. Some questions: who exactly lives in the apartment complex at the condo? Who owns that Toyota Camry? Those are things we do not know, but we've talked to a lot of neighbors who had a few ideas. That coming up at reporting live in Fair Park. Kyle Harvey, 2 News.
Kyle, thanks. We were able to speak actually with a friend of the suspect via FaceTime.
Yeah, Jake Jensen and the suspect met several years ago during some church activities and some services in North Salt Lake.
He was a really nice guy. We met at a couple of ward activities, and we just got to know each other's friends. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was a really nice guy, a really good guy. So I'm surprised to hear anything about this.
Jensen went on to say that the suspect was always gracious, and he is shocked that he could have been implicated in anyone's murder.
And this, of course, is the hardest part of today. Tonight, friends and family are remembering Mackenzie.
Yeah, Jenna Rowe reaching out to several of her sorority sisters and close friends to learn more about her.
Jenna, what did they have to say about Mackenzie?
Well, guys, as you can imagine, this is an extremely difficult day for Mackenzie's friends. They've asked for their privacy tonight. They're all grieving together. But her sorority did release the following statement, and I want to read that to you. They said, "We hope that our Alpha Chi Omega sisters who knew Mackenzie can best find peace and comfort as they reflect on the lasting impact she made on the lives of her family members, friends, and sisters." We also spoke with a close friend and family spokesperson, Juliana Colley, earlier this week. This is how she described Mackenzie.
She's the most genuine and sweet person that you will ever meet. I've never met a person that doesn't like her.
They want Mackenzie to be remembered for the wonderful young woman she was. She was a senior studying kinesiology here at the University of Utah. They describe her as a genuinely kind person. Of course, our hearts go out to her family and friends tonight. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jenna, thank you. Just moments ago, a close friend of Mackenzie's set up a GoFundMe account. All of the money will go to Mackenzie's family for funeral costs. A message reads, "We appreciate all of the kind words, thoughts, prayers, and time that have gone into finding Mackenzie. Rest in peace, Kenzie. You are loved and you will be deeply missed."
Now, this is a story that's captivated the nation and our state here of Utah. Many city leaders and state leaders giving their best to the family today. We want to start with the president of the University of Utah. She released a statement saying the death of Mackenzie Lueck is devastating news. Ruth Watkins writing, "On behalf of the university, I express our heartfelt sympathy to the family, the friends, and classmates of Mackenzie during this difficult time." Governor Herbert weighing in saying, "Our hearts go out to the family and friends of Mackenzie Lueck at this difficult time. I was horrified and sickened by today's news. I appreciate the work of our public safety officials and their professional and timely efforts as they work this case to its conclusion." And Salt Lake City Mayor Jackie Biskupski releasing a statement saying, in part, "As a mother and a mayor, my heart breaks for the Lueck family. Today, all of Salt Lake City mourns for them and stands ready to offer our support." Earlier today, the mayor says she spoke with Mackenzie's father to express her own condolences.
Well, while today's arrest was a big break in the Mackenzie case, Police Chief Mike Brown saying there are still a lot of unanswered questions out there.
We want to know if he acted alone or if there were people that helped him along the way. And so, like I said, there's extensive investigation follow-up that needs to be done, and we will proceed. I mean, it's not over right now.
Right now, investigators combing through a bunch of evidence that they recovered at the suspect's home and still processing digital leads that they've been digging into since Mackenzie's disappearance.
A live look for you right now at the apartment complex where the suspect was taken into custody. This has been a new development in this incredibly complicated case. The latest developments on Mackenzie Lueck's case and her death coming up on 2 News at 4 o'clock.